What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
And it's your girl Sunny in the building.
No doubt, no doubt. It is March 15th. This is the GFT radio show. It is the second week of March, and we back into the swing of things again. And
I said the second week. This is the third week.
It's the third week.
Right? No, second week. I'm sorry.
Got me all thrown off. It's the start of the third week. She's right. So it's been 2 weeks of March, and this is the start of because we're just getting started. So, welcome to the show. We have a great show lined up for you guys as usual, and we're gonna be bringing these topics to you, and we're still waiting on. I think just Dame right now. I think. Smooth's going to be out for the day. Shout out to Smooth. And yes. Definitely going to look forward to seeing him probably in his next we'll see him again next week, and then he has another fans perspective. So shout out to Dame and Smooth with the fans perspective. They had a show last Thursday, and I need a round of applause sound.
That's what we need that. We definitely need that.
Right,
definitely.
We need a soundboard. And Sunny's gonna have her next Sex with Sunny show on
27th.
So definitely be on the lookout for that. So the GFT network is growing.
Tell them about the new merch and the merch.
Oh, right. Yeah. Shout out to the new merchandise. Got new t-shirts, new sweatshirts, new accessories. I saw the neck gaiters, the little mask thing with the goes all the way down. So we have some of those now. So make sure y'all go check that out over at teespring.com/store/GFT radio, or if you go to our website, gftradioshow.com, you can see the shop now button. Just click on that. It'll take you right over to the store. And
you get this shirt that I got on right now, all skin folk and kin folk.
Oh, no doubt. Unfortunately, I didn't have a shirt on today. I've been running all day, and you know how it goes. Right in here, Valentine, right before the show started. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I almost missed the intro. I was so late. So I got in here like the last 2 minutes before pre-show. So, shout out to the internal alarm clock that was like, you know what, we got to get
jazz up.
Right. So we're gonna get started. Tonight's show is in response to some of the things going on out here in the world. We are looking to let's cancel the cancel culture. So with me and Sunny, we're just talking about how it was a little bit of oxymoron of a title, but it's fitting. We have a lot of different things happening recently, and so we wanted to explore that in terms of what's going on with all the canceling, what's going on with all the backlashes, with all the but then also what else is going on with like the double standard. So let's talk about that. So where should we start? I
want to start with Kurt Franklin, because everybody been like it's been like a mix. At least I've been seeing the mixed emotion on the Kurt Franklin ordeal with his 33-year-old son in that situation. And it basically was father and son. Apparently, from what they've been saying, they've been having issues. That day it just went to like, I think at that point Kurt Franklin pretty much got fed up and told his son where to go and how to get there, and that's what most parents tell us, how to get there. And like everybody was in this upset about and I think his son recorded it because he's like, oh, he looked at like this is a man of God, and look what this man of God is doing, not realizing that everybody's human, that people do stuff. So I guess he did it with the mindset of I'm gonna blast you by let everybody see how you really are. Forgetting that that's one, he's a grown ass man, and he's a man, not just a man of God. And number two, he's a parent.
Right.
So we've all gotten to that point where we told our kids at a grown age, where to go and how to get there, because they needed to hear it. Like we done dealt with this stuff for 18 plus years and probably helped you after. And like, from personal experience, not even being a person of God and like that, but people was just like canceling him because of him cursing and going off and calling his son everything but a child of God, pretty much.
Right. Yeah, my personal favorite is the meme where as we all know, Kirk Franklin and your boy Plies are
Plus,
pretty much
yes.
the same person. So they had him morphing into Plies. And at first I didn't know what it was about. I just thought it was funny because we all know
Yeah,
that.
I'm always delayed with what's happening, but somebody actually sent it to me. It was like, what the hell? And I said, I remember my mom cussing me out and telling me right after she was a child of God. So,
Right.
Mikey, you got cussed out, and in Jesus' name, and it was okay.
Right. Well, I heard about the situation, and like you said, I was the same way. I didn't actually I didn't hear the exact.
Exactly, Clint. You got posted with Clint. Just Smooth just posted it. Yes, that's facts.
Right, who didn't curse a child? Exactly. We
So
got
I don't
that.
even know why old boy did that.
Right, we get that fire. We got we our parents get that fire under them. They will go off. It doesn't matter. It's not like we have any exemption just because our parents are people of God, or that they touched by the Spirit, or they might get touched by a whole different spirit.
Yeah, the devil might take him on shore. Like, hold on, let me tell you, child, something real quick. Like
Right.
it
So
happens.
exactly. So, and then can you mention again how old this grown ass man
This
is?
grown ass man is 33 years old. If he don't go, listen, I'm 30. I'm about to
If
be
you don't
38.
go
My
sit your
mama,
ass
if my
down
mom
with a
cussed me
person,
out, if my mom cussed me out, I gotta sit there and take it. She can call me like I may be mad. I may try, but at the end of the day, like that's my mama. She gonna cuss me out, and that's the end of it. Like ain't no if I put on blast, my mom said this is let's take a page from our parents back in the day. You got mad at your mom. Your mom said call diapers. I ain't scared of them. Like you
right?
did that for what? You 33, bro. What you do that for?
Indeed. I mean,
I don't even care if you was 17. What you do that for?
right. Well, yeah, true
14,
that.
15. I don't care. You are a child. If you do something wrong and your parents is fed up with you, when they cuss you out, they're gonna cuss you out. Sometimes I know from personal experience, when your child push you to the limit that you get to the point where you not I mean, I've been to a limit with my daughter, but not like to the extreme. Like I've never really sat and called her a B and all this other stuff. But she about to be 19. I'm sure that someday she going to, let me step across this line and I'm gonna put it right back on over that motherfucker and tell her where to go and how to get there. But even at the teen, these kids try you.
Right. True that.
And when you cuss their ass out, you're not like at a level of cuss out in which he cussed that young man out. He was done. That was a parent done. I'm tired of your shit. I'm tired of whatever else you got going on. I done did too much for you and you ungrateful. Like that's all I felt that in my spirit. Like his spirit spoke to me as a parent. I felt it in my soul.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know that I usually try my best to be the level-headed parent. I usually try my best to not go too far with when I chastise my kid, or when I giving them someone when I'm giving them some we're gonna get to his quote, I mean his
yeah.
in a second. Um when I'm giving them guidance and that kind of thing, especially when it's the heat of the moment, right? But
yeah.
like you said, there's sometimes that you get in that heat of the moment, you get that heat of the battle, and you're telling your kid like, look, you've done too much, you've gone too far, and sometimes you just let it out. My ex-wife, she's a perfect example of sweet as pie, but until you piss her off,
Yeah.
it would be like flipping a switch. It would literally be flipping a switch. And we both were the type of parents that we didn't cuss around our kids. We didn't say certain things. We watched the way we interacted with our kids, so that way we always gave them a positive feedback, always gave them a positive environment to live in. But when she got mad, it was on and popping.
Exactly.
She would go off. She would literally go off. And like you said, I think the biggest thing is that when you're an older child, or you're a teenager or adult, like his son being 33, it's like, nigga, get if you
don't get a backbone,
right? If you don't get your little weakling behind out of here, don't even get started with me on that job. Dame, why are you out there? Why are you not in here? Get on the line.
Right, right. But yeah, what Clint said, define cancel culture is like I'm gonna give my definition of what I think it is, and then I guess Willie, you can do yours. But I think cancel culture is basically like when you stop supporting that person, and they basically not like you don't want them to financially benefit or be supported in any form or fashion. Same way, like similar to how we felt about R. Kelly, he doing all this other stuff. People stop listening to his music. People stop supporting him because you're supporting somebody that was brainwashing or entrapping these young women at a young age and just keeping them in this state of frame that they needed him, and they was dealing with all this shenanigans.
Right.
So that's like the cancel. That's what it means for me. It's like you stop supporting their brand, anything that involves them, and you just basically dimming the light on whatever spark whatever light they had, and now they're there no more. It's almost like Judy going upstairs and never seeing them again because nobody supports you no more. You just went up the steps and the end of the show, we never saw you again. That's what cancel culture is.
Right. Indeed. Um, yeah. Group chat, Dame. Group chat.
Dame is fired.
Dame is that. I don't know. Dame, you missing.
Finally add him to the group chat, and this is what we deal with.
he picks and chooses the text messages that he posts. Y'all got to excuse us. Dame is trying to get it together. He's having technical difficulties.
Dame is being Carl Winslow. I'm at 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? Nah, but yeah, that's what I think cancel culture is.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, basically same thing. The biggest thing about cancel culture is that people, I would say, jump on a situation, or they jump on a you know, I don't want to call it bandwagon, right? I don't want to call it bandwagon. Damn is serious about the. Can you send him the link, please? So they jump on the bandwagon where it's like, no, I just said I don't want to call it a bandwagon. They jump on a situation where people are upset or they are calling out a person based on some action or some series of actions that they've done. So like you mentioned, the R. Kelly situation, and some of the ones we're going to talk about in the next few minutes here, is that a person may have, you know, either committed some type of sexual assault, or they may have done some other kind of creepy thing, or they may have supported some type of ideology that people don't agree with, either politically, socially, or with their family. And then as a groupthink type of situation or a crowdsource, we'd make this decision that we're no longer going to support them based on the effects of their personal actions. And so we take it to their business, right? We take it to their job or to their, you know, I mean, we've seen people get canceled that were not celebrities, right? Cancel culture generally is geared towards celebrities, generally geared towards people who are have some kind of stature, some kind of power, and that fancy you joining us. Thanks.
Technology is not with me. I was like, I didn't get the link.
Everybody else got the link.
I can show you my phone sucks. Hey, Zay.
That's all right. We no, don't get us started on cricket phones over here.
Hold on. Even Zay got the link. Zay said he got the link.
Zay got the link. Look at Zay. Zay showed up. Zay was on time.
He has inside connections.
But so I think the biggest thing is that people and oh, I'm sorry, I'm going back over here to Smooth's comment. Hey Keela, how are you? Hey Keela. Says you know, he says it's cancel culture is the issue or a symptom of us putting people on a pedestal that haven't earned it. And so going back to that, you know, like I said, it you know, we can cancel anybody. It could be the Joe on the street and get him, you know, to lose his job.
Yeah, we can cancel our local Chinese hair store downtown that be acting racist every so often. It's like, okay, we won't establish, we won't patronize your business.
And so I think that, you know, the biggest thing is that we have this and this is what I think, to Smooth's point, or a little bit above, beyond Smooth's point, is that cancel culture creates this mob mentality, right? We have this situation where people are becoming this lynch mob that decides, you know what, you have violated our rules, whatever those rules are, the unwritten rules. And sometimes, rightfully so. But, the biggest thing is they become this lynch mob, regardless of trial, proof, or whatever the case may be. And we make this big grand decision that we are going to prosecute you to the greatest extent of the social media law, right? And bring your what they call it, your brand, or bring your career, or bring your ability to make money, bring all that to an end. So that cancel culture is now responsible for trying to punish that person. So that's basically what it is. It's that punishment, right? And so I think the question is it effective? Is it truly effective? Does it truly work? Does it have its moments when it's ill applied, or applied with reckless abandon? That's what I mean. Is it applied with reckless abandon? That's my question. Dane?
Well, I was going to say that cancel culture, you have to ask the question, why are we canceling anything? And right now, it's like an outrage media. Who can outrage who? Like, I'm more outraged than you are because XYZ, Dr. Seuss. They did that to themselves. There was no cancel culture. That was more of a internal thing with Dr. Seuss. Eminem, these new people trying to cancel Eminem. He's been trying to get canceled since he first came out with his first album, and probably even before. So I don't see anybody canceling Eminem because that's just adding fuel to his albums.
Sorry, I was trying to say we're gonna get to Eminem. We're gonna discuss that whole Eminem thing in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. You should have muted me then. So no, but dang, I forgot what I was gonna say. No, but it's like outrage media. Who can outrage who? There's no. What's the purpose of canceling anything besides trying to make yourself feel better or make your brand look better? Like saying that, hey, we're woke, we're down with whatever cause you're with. But are they really down with the cause, or they're trying to stay face? They're trying to make themselves look better, and try to make themselves more likable to the people, so they can keep selling their merch or whatever they're trying to sell. Like, do you really think Starbucks is really down for the cause when they had culture sensitivity training during last year and the year before, when the police shootings and the uncivil arrest?
Mm-hmm. Smooth.
I think he's frozen.
Oh, he's having what's name problem.
Yeah,
He having.
Yeah, I think
he's having Enzo problems.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Smooth. Oh, you look like you muted yourself again. Sorry.
It's like the fakest sneeze ever. Are we hearing him? Oh.
Okay, I think he's. Go ahead, Smooth.
I'm muted.
Yeah, I think you got like a bad delay. But yeah, so I think the biggest thing is we have like you just said, Dane, we have a lot of different types of people or different types of things that are getting canceled, right? So let's actually let's move on. Let's move on to Eminem. Let's move on to Eminem and talk about what happened there. Oh, go ahead, Smooth. I think we can hear you now. Oh, maybe we can't. Maybe he dropped off. Yeah. So, So the biggest thing with Eminem, like you just said, is that we had people who, I guess, like you said, new, basically young people who have just discovered the what is it called, the "Love the Way You Lie" um, um, song that
Yeah,
Eminem, I think
and
Eminem and
Rihanna.
Rihanna
Yeah,
released.
I actually like
And
that song though. Unfortunately,
right, right. So they got upset because what they discovered is that this song talks about domestic violence, and but the way they took it is that, as you know, I mean, Eminem admittedly has a very sketchy past in terms of the way he promotes, or he not promotes, the way he expresses himself in his music, in terms of the types of lyrics that he has and the types of songs that he makes are generally about, you know, killing his ex-wife, and being, you know, crazy and wild, doing drugs, things of that nature.
yeah,
And
but why not?
so
But why is it just the focus on him if that's the case? Because it's Rihanna's song, and on top of that, I feel maybe I don't know, 'cause I haven't talked to Rihanna, I haven't talked to her publicist or nobody like that, but that song in and of itself, I think for her was her to release what she went through.
mhm,
For her to be able, because if you listen to the lyrics and hers is just like somebody that would go through that type of situation, like the female version
right,
of going through
right,
that situation. And then Eminem was a guy, so I think that she picked it to kind of to pick both sides of the coin, be it right or wrong. It was like she told her side in her lyrical way, and he did his on a different way. So I mean, I get it. People may feel like it's glorifying it or feel like it's promoting that type of thing, but I think it's not. I think it's in a sense, and in this weird way, bringing a sense to the situation as a whole.
right, right.
That's how I took it. I
Uh,
didn't take it as he's trying to say like this is the wave. Let's do this.
You know what? If we're gonna start
Yeah.
canceling people for their songs and their art, um, let's go to Babyface. He had a song, "How Come" and "How Far." Um, it was basically about a woman being abused and battered. You got every other country song down there. How come they're not trying to cancel country music at this point?
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like
Q made the same
you're
point. So many people say way worse in their music. That's
it,
yeah.
it. You got all the Eminem songs that he's ever been in and produced. That whole D12 album needs to be canceled if that's the case. You're going after him and Rihanna songs. I love the way you lie. Somebody's priorities is really jacked up, or they haven't gotten that far in Eminem's catalog just yet.
Well, yeah, yeah. I think that was one of the points that some of the other TikTok users were making, or some of the what they call it, because they were basically saying this was a battle between Gen Z and Gen Y in terms of how to cancel Eminem, and why, of all things, they centered in on, like you said, why did they center in on the "Love the Way You Lie" song? Basically because, and they're saying it's because of the song lyrics, where it says, "If she ever tries to F and leave again, I'ma tie her to the bed and set this house on fire." And so they wanted to condemn Eminem, which often includes because his lyrics often include violence towards women. And like I said, you know, rightfully so, Eminem does have this history and his track record of having songs, lyrics, themes, and things like that that go into the problem, into the issue of violence against, usually particularly his ex-wife. The thing is, though, is that, like you said, Sonny, this is not the first of the first time he's wrote a song that touched on that topic. This is definitely the very least of what he's written about. But then
Because then you watch his,
in
and
this
then on top of
instance,
that,
and in
you
this
watch his
situation,
movie.
this has nothing to do with him as a person trying to afflict harm on anyone. This is
Yeah, but
him.
then you got to listen, watch his movie, 8 Mile. Like that's his life story, right?
Mhm.
He watched his mom. His mom was getting her ass beat. He was trying to protect her. So like it's that like I said, me personally, I took it as them expressing like for one, her trauma, and then him. Like, granted, his songs, a lot of his songs, I'm not gonna say like he just made the best songs ever. He had a lot of songs that just some crazy shit. Eminem, and people still bought his music. But in that song in particular, I think it was a way for them both to vent, and he was able to share whatever he lived through. Because he's talking about being a product of a child. I grew up in a child of a household where a parent was being abused. I saw it firsthand. So when he's saying those lyrics, is like that's what you like. You not necessarily. I didn't witness the worst of it, but I witnessed some of the stuff, and it was like it could have got to that worse. Like that's so. And me, it was like, let's look at this as a whole and understand this, and let's have a conversation. I think for me, it was like a more of a conversational piece, and just be able to have that discussion and put it to music, and just be like, because we got the Love Is Blind. Yeah, she took a different route of it. Eve made a song Love Is Blind, but like they took it from they took it from a victim and perpetrator kind of situation.
Well, honestly, what I was trying to say before, I think what's going on is we are coming dangerously close to censorship of everything. You know, before, cancel culture is just a new name. Before it was PC culture. Everybody had to say PC, be PC, and it's affecting everything. It's to the point to where we're so sensitive nowadays that we're not going to be able to say anything to anybody. Look, and look how it affects comedy. They tried to cancel Kevin Hart for things he said over 10 years ago. A lot of comics can you imagine Eddie Murphy in the Days era with his stand up? He wouldn't, you know what I mean? They wouldn't let it ride. And, I like I was saying, I feel a lot of it is derived through the internet. You got a lot of people on the internet now who have voices who really didn't have voices before. You feel me? And they haven't lived, man. Like this new generation, everything is from this computer. This from computer. So everybody is so sensitive to everything now. So once you start crying wolf so much, it's like before, you know, and I blame black people, to be honest with you, because we always get mad when a certain comedian or a certain person from a different race say something about us, but we feel as though we can say everything. So now those same other races are coming back. Like, hold on, y'all said we can't say this about y'all or say this. What makes y'all so important and special that y'all can say everything? You know what I mean? So now we caught in this whirlwind to where everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody got to walk on eggshells. You can't really be honest no more. You know what I mean? I remember Dave Chappelle saying that in one of his stand-ups. He's like, you can't be honest no more. You feel me? You can't have honest conversations. Like, for instance, I was looking up something yesterday to where it was on YouTube, and they were showing this black man. He was at an airport, and his little white baby toddler came up, and the white dad was recording it, right? So the white dad, when he posted it on his IG or Facebook or whatever, he said different race, different generation, uh different cultural backgrounds, but you see love. He said that's the type of world I want my child to grow up in. Do you know people attacked him for bringing up race? And his response was, that's our problem. We don't want to recognize our differences. We try to hide our differences from each other, you know what I mean, and don't want to talk about them. And he was like, how can we grow? How can we have honest conversations with each other? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I know that from like multiple conversations I've had with different people of different races, and it's certain topics. It's kind of like it's tiptoed around, and it's like, no, we can have this conversation. Like I don't, and I noticed that like within where I work, it's it's not that many black. I mean, now it's more black folk, in there, but it wasn't for a long time. So when we have different conversations, even though you probably shouldn't have in the workplace, we would have these different conversations. You had to kind of, well, see me, I'm outspoken, but like I would be getting the idea like I need to back off because, and not even that I was hostile or anything like that. It's just because I was passionate about what I was saying because I wanted you to understand. Because you're like, because when we have this conversation and you say something, I need you to understand why it's offensive, and not that you can't. It's not, and not even, and it's not how you say it. It's not what you say. It's how you say things. So if you're asking the question out of understanding, or having the conversation, trying to understand the tone and the context of the conversation is a lot different. And it's not saying that I can't respect your opinion. I can agree to disagree with you. I may not agree with what you said to me, but I'm gonna understand where you're coming from because either one, you don't know no better, you choose not to know no better. Fine. But it's just like I had this kind of censor myself because I didn't want to seem like, because then the first thing is, we trying to say I'm a racist? No, I just need you to understand where I'm coming from, because when you say things like this is why people jump to the gun and say you're racist, because you need to acknowledge this, and the main thing was race. You need to understand that part of the answer, because the first thing people say is that doesn't play a part in it, and in all actuality, in some instances it does. And when you accept, it's not that I'm calling you a racist. It's that I need you to accept that there's a racial difference. Like when we had that conversation about white privilege, you can't. People like, what are you trying to say? It's real. Like there's no way around it. Like you don't like we said on many shows, we have these conversations with people, and how we choose to raise our kids is very different from how you raise yours. Why? Because there's a difference. It's a race difference. You don't got to tell your kids, hey, when you get pulled over by the cops, listen to them, make sure you don't make no sudden movements, blah, blah. You don't have to have that conversation. We do. So race is a big part of that conversation. So we can't have that conversation and you want to tell me to take race out of it. I can't.
So
I'm not saying you're a racist. I need you to understand it and why we feel the way we do.
Okay, Will got a point to make, so I'll go after him.
Oh no! I was going to let you talk, but no, I was just bringing this up, but no, go ahead and make your comment, and I'll come back to this.
Oh, Keela's comment about perspective. That isn't music is a form of art, and they say, yeah, it's expression. Art is always interpreted by the person who sees it or hears it, and most people perceive Eminem's music as either life, funny, as a comedian. They like, oh, that's funny what he said, and most people take it to heart, like, oh my God, that's what I lived and went through. No, so you can't take what everything he says to 100% like it's gospel. No, you have to understand that some of these people went through some hardships. Like Sonny mentioned some hardships that she went through. Everybody has their own little past that they had to deal with, and some music hits home to move you, excuse me, a certain way. So for them to try to cancel Eminem for whatever he put out, that's on their interpretation, their perspective. Everybody has different perspectives when it comes to everything that's being put out.
Before you go, Willie, can I respond to another comment?
Yeah,
Killer made when she said about the entitled, people don't respect the fact that everyone entitled to their own opinions.
Facts.
I always have an issue, but see, I always have an issue with that. You're not entitled to your opinion if your opinion is wrong. I think too many of us sometimes, just because we feel like we're entitled to our opinion, we get to say what we want. But if you're wrong, you know what I mean? Like you can't speak from a point of ignorance and then expect people to respect that opinion. You know what I mean? I forget the doctor. I'm gonna find an article before the show and send it to you, Willie, so you can bring it up. But he made it clear, like, you know what I mean? He's like, that's a false narrative that we're all entitled to our opinion, because we can't be entitled to our opinion if we're wrong. You know what I mean? So you got too many people out here commenting and stating their opinions on things without any facts. You know what I mean? Without any knowledge on what they're talking about. So that's why I said the internet gave birth for everybody to voice their opinions. You know what I mean? And where everybody of opinion isn't correct. Just because it sounds good don't mean it is good.
What about the
That's what
ones
I'm.
that is? What if it's not a right or wrong situation? It's just
So
a
Donald Trump is saying about fake news, and that's his opinion.
what if it's about something that's morally not wrong or right, but just something how you feel. It doesn't have to be like something set in stone, something life threatening, but just the way you feel or how you perceive things.
Yeah,
Is
but
that
just
really?
because we feel a certain way don't mean we're right.
That's
You
true.
feel me? Just because you
No,
feel a
no.
certain way, just because somebody make you feel a certain way don't mean you right. You feel me? I like Willie could say something and I may take it the wrong way or I may feel some type of way, but that don't mean I'm right. You know what I
Because
mean?
he
He
may
could
have
No,
took
be
it
that's
out of
absolutely,
context.
yeah, I could take it. He could be absolutely right. So just because you feel a certain way means nothing. Your feelings are that. They're just feelings. They aren't the truth. You feel me?
You're
They come
entitled to
and
your
go.
feelings.
Yeah,
I said you're. I said you're entitled to your
we
feelings.
all we all feel things, but just
Mm.
because we feel things doesn't make what we feel correct. How many times have we overanalyzed the situation because we felt this certain type of way? You feel me? And
Right.
then realize,
And I think that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem. That we have a lot of people, to your point, Smooth, we have a lot of people now all of a sudden with a platform. We have 1,000 pundits and 1 million listeners, right? And so there's so much emphasis on um listen to me or listen to my point of view or my that there's a lot of opinions, a lot of background noise, there's a lot of and I kind of feel like Keela does too, that we all have a right to our feelings or to our opinions or to our perspectives, right or wrong. But I see your point in that also creates this this problem of if is it the right time or is it the right moment for that feeling, is it the right situation for that perspective, right? And I think that what's lost in a lot of this, especially when it comes to this cancel culture, is that at times it becomes this behemoth that gets out of control. To Smooth's point, as well as this comment here from Corey Taylor from the group Slipknot. He was responding to the situation with Eminem, and he says, is that where we are right now? Is this the Salem witch trials, right? The thing is that the perspective of what people were feeling, these younger people were feeling, and that's the thing. Into Smooth's point too, is the overanalyzation. We saw that with this situation with Eminem. We saw that with the situation with the baby making a rap about or not about, but he made a rap song, and in the lyrics he made the comment, uh, uh, I hope you JoJo CY, and then there was an ad lib where he said bitch, and all of a sudden Gen Z TikTok went crazy because they thought he called that the baby, this 28, or well, I don't know how old the baby is, but this 20-something-year-old man called JoJo CY, which is a 17-year-old TikToker, little girl, called her a bitch. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like the lyrics clearly say, I hope you JoJo CY, and he played on the pronunciation of her name, and then he was the bitch part was him talking about the people seeing something that he was doing, because he said, I hope you JoJo CY, and his nickname is JoJo. So it's like they're over analyzing and feeling a certain kind of way because of their perspective, right? His perspective is, I made this comment not out of malice towards this little girl. I made not an ad lib. I made a metaphor out of her name. I didn't attack her, and there was no malice behind the lyric towards her. It was a play on the pronunciation of her name and of my nickname. So they overanalyzed the whole situation and threw up this whole banner of let's cancel the baby, right? So it's those feelings, it's those perspectives, and like you were saying, Smooth, and at that moment it was wrong. It was completely wrong. It was completely thrown off. There's another lyric or another series of songs where people are going, basically off on the deep end because they're analyzing every little tiny bit and piece of these things that are put out there. And another problem with this is everybody wants to be first. Everybody wants to be first to make a comment about something. Everybody wants to be first to find the controversy in things. Everybody wants to be first in creating these what they call them, these I don't know the word at the top of my head, but basically they want to be like they want to ignite this fire under people. They want to be the match head that strikes the fire, that starts these big political campaigns and these big basically these witch trials. They want to be the first one to strike that match and set that person on fire because the internet is going to make them famous. They want their 12 seconds of fame. It's not.
That's like the. I'm gonna say it. They're probably gonna cancel my ass anyway. But with the Beyonce thing, if you say anything that go against whatever it is she's doing, it's this big. Let's go get this person. Not really a cancel, but it's that immediate line of attack, and it's like you have to be at this point like you can like. And it's very simple like this. If you don't agree with what somebody does, don't follow them. Very simple. It's that simple. You don't got to go on a campaign or
I want to go with,
and all that. Huh?
I want to go off what you was mentioned earlier about Trump, and it ties into the philosophy professor that I was talking about. So Trump had made a statement about an unsubstantiated claim of millions of illegal votes, right? So Mike Pence, when he was trying to defend him, in the end of his primary defense, he basically said Trump was entitled to express his opinions. And that defense made the philosophy professor Patrick Stokes cringe. So I want to read part of this article and the reason why I brought up that. Okay, he's a teacher. He teaches at Deakin University in Australia. And his message to students on their first day of class is, you are not entitled to your opinion. The reason Stokes makes this provocation is in order to teach his students how to construct and defend an argument. The problem with I'm entitled to my opinion is that all too often, this is his words, is used to shelter beliefs that should have been abandoned. It becomes shorthand for I can say or think whatever I like, and by extension, continuing to argue is somehow disrespectful. I'm entitled to my opinion is considered a logical fallacy. An opinion is a view or judgment about something. So by definition, an opinion has attached to it a certain degree of uncertainty or subjectivity, and using it as a defense only works in certain situations. There's no way you can argue with me if I were of the opinion that ginger tastes horrible. You might actually like ginger's taste, but by preference against it is beyond question. But you have all the rights to argue with me if I were of the opinion. Hold on. I'm lost. I lost it real quick. If I was after all, this is if I were of the opinion that global warming is a hoax, after all, there's overwhelming scientific evidence to show that there's very little uncertainty in the opinion that global warming is happening. If everyone's entitled to their opinion, just means no one has the right to stop people thinking and saying whatever they want, then the statement is true but fairly trivial. But if entitled to an opinion means entitled to have your views treated as serious candidates for the truth, then it's pretty clearly false. So basically what he was saying is, I mean, like, you can have your opinion on certain things, but you know what I mean, that's the doctor's opinion also. But he's substantial. If you listen to it, he's substantiated with facts. You know what I mean? Like you can argue. You can't argue just because you feel a certain way. Now, I mean, that's what he basically saying. You can't argue and defend your argument just because you feel that way without any substantiated facts.
It's substantiated facts.
And too many times,
and that ties into what
and too
Trump
many
did.
times on the internet, when people are trying to cancel people or trying to do this, they doing it with a lot of unsubstantiated facts. You know what I mean? That's the problem. That's the problem we're having. And like Willie said, we just get on our own little soapbox because we have these platforms and we get to say and do whatever we feel without repercussion. That's another thing. A lot of these people don't have no repercussion for the things they say. So, it spreads like a wildfire.
And that's the thing, like what Trump did up until the election, and that's why we had that whole thing at the what's the name? when they stormed the whole building and did all that stuff. It was his opinion of what was going on or what he deemed to be true, and a lot of people took that and ran with it, and then we had them trashing this building that nobody had ever got into in hundreds of years, and did all this mayhem. And it was like, well, they believed what he said was the ironclad gospel, and it was this craziness.
Well, what helped Sonny? That his people that backs Trump, people that backed him, were on a bigger platform, such as Fox News, always backing Trump. And, for certain folks, listening to Fox News is like listening to the gospel. Oh, they're right. Trump would never lie because Fox News.
But at the same time, he was out here saying fake news. So either the news is fake or it's true.
Right. So he has his favorite show network backing him. He got people in the limelight, such as politicians, backing him. So they're going to like, oh, I'm going to Washington, D.C., and we're going to take back our country. These people are the ones that help perpetuate the lie into opinion to be fact. And that's why we have what we have today.
Keela, I understand where you're coming from. Totally. I get it. That people are entitled to their opinions. Everybody got an opinion, like everybody got assholes. It's just something that we all gonna have. But
that's
have to be mindful. You have to be mindful.
What she said was she believes that he was talking, but no, that's not what he was saying. He was clear. He was saying you're entitled to have an opinion, but only as long as you can reasonably argue for it with evidence. With evidence. So if you don't have evidence to support your opinion, it's like you're just talking. And we all been guilty of that. Let's not be. I mean, we all been guilty of that.
So Clint, so you mean I won that argument about Magic and Bird beating Kevin Durant and LeBron James? I won that one. I won that one.
That's a perfect point. No, I'm saying though, but that's a perfect point because all of that is subjective. You know what I mean? All of that is subjective. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't really say because they never will play against each other. So all we doing is just giving our own opinions. You know what I mean? It's just a fun conversation.
Right. But that's what I'm saying though. Everybody wants to be outraged first, and when they want to get, like you said, they want to strike that match to say, oh, who called it out first that Eminem or somebody, whatever situation it is. They don't want to be right. They just want to be famous. They want to be known for that person to do this.
Yeah, but my thing is, you have to have accountability for what you're saying.
Yeah,
right.
But there's no accountability. That's the problem. Like Smooth mentioned earlier, there's no accountability, and
exactly.
and
like stand on it. If you say that, stand on it.
Yeah, and I'm behind Keela on the fact that we do still have to have a avenue for opinions. We do still have to have an avenue for opinions, for perspectives, for thoughts that have no substantiated facts behind them, for just talking, because we sometimes need to talk things out and see other people's opinions and see other people's issues with what we say and how we say them. Just because what's the word? Just because it's law doesn't make it right. Just because it's what feels good may be wrong, and what may be right doesn't feel good. There's a bunch of ways you can say it. Basically, facts facts and feelings are on two separate sides of the spectrum, right? And
Right.
sometimes we may need to change facts because of feelings. Sometimes we may need to change what's right because of what feels good, right? Or what
and
feels
law.
right. And so I think we still need an avenue for that. And I don't think you're trying to take that away, Smooth. I'm just saying we still need
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
a way of hearing other people's opinions and feeling other people's feelings behind or perspectives behind things. But to piggyback on what you were saying, though, I think your point is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that sometimes those feelings and those perspectives can go awry, and they can cause issues. And to my point here in the new banner is that, can one opinion destroy a person? And that's the problem, is that between libel sorry, between libel and slander, you can destroy a person with your
and
opinion.
it's funny because it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. I watch for the ladies that watch Basketball Wives. Last season, a young lady was on there. Her name's OG. She's on this season too. She had an issue with the ladies, and she called somebody out for colorism. So now they're in a legal battle. Her and the lady, one of the ladies she called off colorism, they're in a legal battle. And this season they're talking about it, and they're asking her, because a lot of the people that are saying complexion is her, trying to understand why she feels that way. And she didn't really want to explain it to them. She just, but at some point she explained it to somebody, and somebody kind of talked to the group and was like, this is what she was feeling like, it's a hurt from this and the third. So like she had her facts based off of how she felt in her opinion of, because everybody was saying, well, I don't experience colorism within this group. And everybody was saying that, like, they basically said that she's the only person that said that she experienced colorism. So nobody really backed her in that, and they wanted to understand her, but she wasn't really giving her her reason as to why she said that. Like, she gave it a little bit, but not really. And she finally like talked to somebody and expressed it, and now they kind of understand where she's coming from to an extent. And it's like, for that situation in particular, it's a lawsuit involved because it's a slander. Because the person so like, can, like, you have to be accountability and responsibility for what you say and backing it up, because now you said that on national TV. She filed the lawsuit. You have to back why you said that, because you calling her a colorist, it affects her whole entire brand.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure Willie, you heard of him, the rapper Mano.
Oh yeah, I like Mano.
So Mano, a couple years ago, and I had this as my before I left Instagram, this was like my only post that I left up there because he was speaking truth. He was like, you know what I mean? Who told you can give your opinion about me without knowing me? You feel me? No, you're not entitled to your opinion about me. I don't know who raised. Nah, I mean, he was basically like, I don't know who raised y'all, who allowed y'all, but I'm not allowing nobody to come up to me and for them to give me their opinion about me. Like, no, I'm gonna tell you who I am. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna define me. I'm not about to let somebody else define me who doesn't know me. And similar to what Sonny was mentioning with the Basketball Wives, that lady don't really know her. It gave her opinion and try to define that person. That's why she in court. You're not. You know what I mean? You can say you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm not about to let you define me. Your opinion doesn't define me. That's why I have an issue with that sense of, we all had that sense of entitlement that we can say whatever we want to say about certain people without repercussions. Like somebody, now I mean, on this, I ain't gonna say who, you know what I mean? You already brought her name up, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Remember, she used to always say, I ain't gonna say no names, but she used to always say, yeah, such and such ain't really had that baby. She ain't really carry that baby. You feel me?
Shut up. Yeah, I said it.
I ain't say no names. I ain't say, but you don't.
I own it. I said I stand on it. And facts based off as a mom. I had pregnancy.
Yeah, but you see how inflammatory that can be, because she can really attack you and come back at you for that.
And she can.
You know
And
what I mean?
that's the thing. That's why I say it's accountability. You have to accept accountability for what you say. Like I said, if you argue, she come back, if she was to address me in that manner and defend herself, that's absolutely her right. And I will understand it and I won't feel no way about it. But I'm respectfully say to her, I carry 2 babies. That first pregnancy, you ain't had that baby, and nothing you gonna say to me gonna make me believe otherwise.
And
Respectfully,
that's
go
the
on.
problem. And that's the problem. And that's a problem, Sonny. You got to see that as a problem.
No,
Like that's
it
an
might
issue.
be a problem. It can very well be a problem. But like I said, I'm going to accept accountability for whatever for whatever the fallout is. Like that's my opinion. It's not like it's based off of facts for me because like I said, I'm coming from I had kids. I've been pregnant. I'm twice. Like I've been through everything that could go through a pregnancy. With the 2 different pregnancies are very different at 2 different ages. So like I said, I'm not saying this shit just to say it to defame her character. It's just I feel like she insulted our intelligence. And as the person that was pregnant, it's like, yo, you really gonna do that? You really gonna do that to us?
And then to add on to that, I had posted on Twitter the other day.
You
Like
talking about me on
people
Twitter?
always this I said what I said culture.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's gonna get somebody killed, bro.
I hope I don't die off of
because you
saying
just
that.
can't like.
One of her
I don't
beehive might
understand
kill me.
I don't understand where that come from. It's like that for me. That's a sense of entitlement. Like you can.
No,
People
I
feel like
don't
they
think
can
it's a
say
sense of
what they
entitlement
want
though.
to say or do
I
what they
don't
want
think
to
it's a
do.
sense of entitlement though. It's just standing on what you say. It's like if I say something to you and it's my opinion, like me and you can have a conversation and I feel the way I feel, and that's me firmly standing on what I said. It's not saying that I'm 100% right. It's just saying, go with this one. It's just saying, it's not saying I'm right. It's just saying that, like it's stuff that you say. It's stuff that you say, Clint. That's your belief on it. Nobody's gonna be able to shake your belief on it. So, like at the end of the day, I can tell you till I'm blue in the face X, Y, Z, and you're gonna be like, nah, this is how I feel, and ain't nobody gonna change it. That's the stem of I said what I said because I say it. I own it. I accept whatever comes from it. It's not an entitlement. It's just saying I like I said, even to this day, I've had plenty of people tell me, well, you said that. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, but what if you
Out
were
loud
wrong?
and in color.
That's the point, though. What if you were wrong? Just because you said
if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong and I'm proven wrong, I would wholeheartedly say, you know what, my bad. I apologize. It might not do shit.
But most people don't.
But I'm not most people. Like
You
prove
know what
me
I mean?
wrong.
But I'm not. I see, but I'm not talking specifically about you. I'm talking about the culture. The culture.
See,
Too many
I'm more.
people.
If I'm wrong, I'll
Too
call me
many
out.
people. Too many people in our culture is like I said what I said, and it's like, you know what I mean? You just can't say what you want to say to people. You know what I mean?
I didn't say it to her.
Especially in a disrespectful manner. You know what I mean? Like too many of us walk around here with that. You know what I mean? Can't nobody tell me nothing.
No,
I
don't walk around that. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Like I don't want, and I've said that even to this day. I don't want yes friends. I don't want nobody to hold me accountable for my actions. Tell me I'm wrong, and either I'm agree with you or I'm not going to agree with you. And if I'm wrong, and if you can prove that I'm wrong, I'll apologize.
You prove it.
No, because if I say something that's completely utterly wrong,
you just did.
What?
So
whatever. I ain't saying nothing wrong. You know for a fact she had that baby?
Well, so this is the thing. You know
for a fact, Clint, was you in the delivery room?
Okay, but this is the thing, Sonny.
You in the delivery room.
Right, but this is the thing. To Smooth's
I wasn't there with Zay.
But I got a whole bunch of doctors and I got family members that were there. My mama was there and everybody else was there. All the doctors can tell you that they cut my stomach open and I got the scars to prove it. They took my baby out of me, both him and Zaria.
So the thing is that I think to Smooth's point, the I said what I said response, or the say what I said statement does resonate a negative aspect of you're gonna hear me out regardless of how you feel about it, and what I said is done. It is what it is. So I definitely get that, and I definitely agree that it can be a harsh reality of people saying, hey, I have this opinion and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I do agree that it's mainly stating, yeah, I'm standing on what I did, and I tell my kids that all the time. If you're gonna say something, if you're gonna put something out there, stand on it. The thing is that if you can't stand on what you said or what you've done, then you put yourself at a disadvantage. There's no reason for you to even say it or do it, because now what you're gonna do, hide and run from it? You can't do that. People are gonna hold you to that, and people are going to make you have to be accountable for that, and that's the biggest problem. There's no accountability. Like
I did a lot of dumb shit in my life. I accept all my dumb shit.
Like the statement that you said, Sonny, you don't have any. You have no repercussions. You're not taking any accountability for it, because nobody's going to hold you to that and force you to be punished behind it, right? That's the thing, is that if you could be punished by it, if you can take it to the point of saying, hey, I want Beyonce to do this or to do that, apologize or blah blah blah. It's, if you had that kind of power, but she had the opportunity to flip that on you, then you would have to take accountability and responsibility for what you said. But being where you are, being what you're doing, and anybody else that has done that, there's no accountability. There's no taking responsibility for what you're saying. So I think that's the biggest issue, is that, we have a lot of people saying things and they have no repercussions. They have no, and they do it with the knowledge that they have no repercussions. So they just do it willy-nilly, off the cuff.
I don't do it willy-nilly.
Yeah, what I was going to say was,
can
you mute her? No, what I was going to say was, what you're saying about putting whatever you say out there and sticking by it. There's a lot of politicians, even Joe Biden, who won the election last winter, how on certain philosophies he had in the past was coming back to haunt him with the black community, because things he said and did in the past. And now when he flip-flop on it to get some votes, most people are being skeptical of that, because he wants to get those votes so badly that he's wish-washing. Well, maybe he has a change of perspective on why he said and what he did back in the past. So my thing is, cancel culture is going too far in the past and going back to cancel something that doesn't need to be canceled. Maybe somebody has changed their minds and feelings in the past. Like, they're trying to cancel Abraham Lincoln now. I mean, the man had slaves, yes. Back then, was it morally wrong? Yes. But was it law? Yes. It was right for men back then to have slaves. Unfortunately, it had to be black people. And they're trying to go back and cancel him now. So everybody can't stay on one leg just to say that, hey, we're going to cancel you because you did this in the past. You just need to get off your high horse. It happened. And even though he thought it was right or wrong, I don't know if Clint agrees with this part. Men have owning other men. It's always been throughout history. You want to cancel everything in the past now just because it doesn't fit with today's standards?
Without Abraham Lincoln, it wouldn't be the Emancipation Proclamation, and there would be no groundwork laid to the 14th Amendment. So we cancel him, we cancel all that, and we're going to go back to where we was?
That's what I'm saying. It's like people just want to go and cancel everything now. They're going back as far as slavery. And I don't know why R. Kelly still.
Oh yeah, I've seen people I know that basically say that they still rocking with R. Kelly. They don't care. The same people that's rocking with MJ for touching little boys. But see, I can't talk because MJ. It's MJ.
Well, yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. So
MJ, remember the time.
Let's go back to the question. Is all of this canceling even
It's not, because I think it's I think it's really for that period of time. Like, we cancel R. Kelly during the surviving R. Kelly thing. Or some people may cancel him initially back when he peed on a little girl. I haven't really been listening to R. Kelly, so I don't really care. But I can't, like, I'm gonna be 1,000% honest. If Michael Jackson come on, I'm remembering the time and I'm doing it. Like, I can't, like, every time the shit come on VH1, the movie, I'm watching, like, I can't. It's not just Michael, it's Tito and all of them. I can't now watch the Cosbys. It's like now watching a different world.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, really? Boom right along. Moving right along.
That's what you mean? What you
Moving
mean?
right.
I mean,
What you mean?
Don't nobody care.
it was hurtful. You hurt her feelings, Sonny.
I didn't hurt her feelings. My little comment ain't hurt her feelings. Multiple people.
You don't
hurt
know
her feelings.
that.
The same way
She
we hurt
watches the show
LeBron
every
feelings.
heard you
week.
said
Hold
it.
on. Okay, so we the same people. Y'all the same people that sit there and talk about LeBron hairline.
I've
Nope,
never
I
said
didn't
anything
say
about
that.
that
Nope.
man's hairline ever.
Nope.
So now we ain't talking about. So now we ain't talking about his hairline.
I've
Didn't
never
say
said
it.
anything
Now
about
we
it.
never talked about his hairline.
I'm sure I heard his
He
feelings.
probably
too.
thought that was hurtful too.
No,
Didn't say
he
it.
made fun of
But
it
it's
on
facts,
TV
though.
plenty
But
of
it's
times.
facts.
But he probably had to
You
make
feel
fun of
me?
it because
It's
people was
facts.
laughing at him
You
anyway.
feel me? We
When
got
they
the
put that
photos.
penny, when they put Abe Lincoln on his hairline, he had to make fun of that because why? Fuck Beyonce LaKilla. I'm sorry.
Tequila.
No, I'm sorry. No, she just said fuck
Tequila.
Beyonce and I'm sorry.
Unapologetic. I mean, but like,
I'm part of the
I
Beehive.
don't,
Killer. What's up?
I
You know
don't
what I
care.
mean?
Oh, y'all, you want them. That's why y'all over here having a moment. Y'all all a part of the Beehive. It's okay. I get it. But in better news, congratulations to my my husband for finally winning the Grammy. He should have got one, but he finally got one. So
Who,
Nas,
Nas?
thank you. Yep.
Yeah,
Nas.
what about you? Say his husband. You say your husband. Nas was
It's not.
accused of woman beating.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, see, I heard
I read
about
that.
I heard it.
And if he did,
See
then
how,
he ain't
you
right.
see
I
how
heard
I
it.
told?
No, I read the whole.
See how I told
No, actually, because I'm not going to defend him on that. I'm not going to defend him on that. But I
It was
did
your
read
husband.
the whole Khalees interview. I read all her stuff that she talked about how he was doing a bunch of alcohol and how he was just being a different person than what she met. Like I read all that shit. It's fucked up. But like at the end of the day, I still love him the same way I still love Michael. And the same way I still love Chris Brown, even though he smacked
let me ask
Rihanna.
y'all something before I get up out of here. 'Cause I gotta go. It was Twitter. Twitter is not for the weak. I'm letting y'all know right now. Twitter is not for the weak. I'm telling y'all. So it was they trying to Boondocks, right?
Oh no, not Boondocks.
Oh
No,
boy.
they're not trying to cancel Boondocks. What the girl posted, and a lot of people agreed with her, is she don't want white people watching Boondocks because she like, what y'all laughing at?
No.
Oh
You
shit.
feel me? And a lot of people came on there agreeing with her. Like, yeah, white people, like, yeah, what y'all at? And then it was other white people. It was white people coming on there defending themselves and like, why are you telling us not to watch something that was meant for entertainment, that was meant to make us laugh?
Right.
You understand? But
I mean, I think
that's
I
what
think
we.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think Boondocks was meant for cultural awareness anyway. I don't think Aaron McGruder made that
Same way
specifically
Dave
for
Chappelle was.
Hold on. I don't think Aaron McGruder made that specifically for black people. I don't think he made that to only be a commentary against white America. He made that as a commentary on the social state or the state of our society as a whole. Because there's a lot of references to things that are both. I mean, it's more against not against us, but it's more about us than it is about anything else. But I think he's taking that from his own perspective. But the thing is that he points out intricacies and issues in all aspects. And people of any race, color, country of origin, whatever the case may be, can watch it from the aspect of both entertainment and awareness, right? Of where some social minds are coming from. So I don't think that we should stop certain people from watching it. Yeah, there's a problem with entertainment, right? The one problem with entertainment is that sometimes entertainment isn't educational, right? Because even if there's an educational aspect or there's an awareness aspect, people can miss the point, right? But people are going to miss the point regardless. The point is going to be made to the people who are paying attention, right? And it's up to the people paying attention to pick up on the clues, to grab the information, to go look up more, to get more self-aware, right? And you're not going to force people to become more self-aware by telling them that they're not allowed to do this or they're not allowed to do that. So I think that telling people that they're not allowed to watch this just because you think that the jokes on you and not for them to agree with, it's asinine.
Yeah, because go ahead. No, somebody else made the point that what if I don't know who actually created anime, but they was like, I know my sister, one of my younger sisters, loved anime. She was like, what if they told black people not to watch anime?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He was like, that's the same. He was like, that's the same thing. He's like, how you gonna tell? He's like, y'all enjoy anime, y'all enjoy watching
the Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, the Japanese. Okay, yeah. He was like, y'all enjoy watching it. You know what I mean? Y'all entertain, and that's basically off their culture. So what if they told you, now I mean, don't watch that? How would y'all feel? And a lot of people was one dude, a couple people was like, yeah, I look at white people funny if they laughing at Uncle Ruckus. I'm like, y'all that sensitive now?
Hold on, so y'all in their house watching it with them?
Right.
The fuck?
Exactly.
Y'all being white people, I was like,
it's like we're getting irrational.
What you doing?
It's like we're getting real irrational with our
finding ways to get offended.
Exactly.
Finding ways to get offended. Yes, exactly.
You said it perfectly, Sonny. You said it perfectly.
Like, what the hell, y'all? Like,
I gotta go though, y'all. I gotta go.
All right, Smooth. All right. Appreciate this.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you want to give it?
Clint, I love you. No, but you know what? It's like I feel like they really are finding ways to get offended. It's like you that bored, let me just get offended. Like, are you really in their house watching it while they laughing?
Well, and that's the thing is that people are taking it to that point where they feel like they have to be offended. We always got to be up in arms. We always have to be woke, right? Or we always have to be on defense. I've actually seen certain pundits or certain sites or certain accounts, especially on Twitter. Like you said, Twitter is not for the weak. I've seen what up though, Chris? What's good with you, big dog? Where people have made the point that we need to be always on the fence, right? Because there's hidden messages and everything, and there's this and there's that. And one thing that struck me, there was a situation years ago when people were doing they were doing that planking. Remember the planking?
Oh yeah, I was doing the planking, and then we were told that we were perpetrating, like it was a whole big situation.
For sure, Smooth. We got you, bro. So yeah, the biggest thing about that was that there was this big thing of people were doing this challenge, and they were basically laying themselves on top of things stiff as a board, right? And then all of a sudden the woke community came out and was like, y'all need to stop doing that as black people. Everybody else needs to stop doing it because they're making fun of slavery. And so, in my mind at the time, I felt like one, that it was overreaching, right? That was a big reach to me. Like, it's like, how do you equate everything to either slavery, Jim Crow, some type of minstrel situation? Like literally everything at that time, they were pointing out like, oh, if you pose like this, you're mimicking, something that happened in a minstrel show.
I was planking that word
from 1938. And it's like, how are we supposed to even know about this stuff? You guys are just bringing this stuff up. Yeah, I appreciate the information. I appreciate the parallels, but at some point, are we reaching, right? Now, mind you, if you see something like a picture or setup in a magazine or a photo shoot staged in such a way that ends up directly mimicking something that was either derogatory or may have been oppressive in the past, because there was like this picture of some people doing this thing where the woman was sitting on the ground or sitting on all fours, and the guy had his hand on top of her back or something. And then they drew this parallel to the 1950s where there was these ads where men were like literally sitting on women as if the women were furniture, right? So it was drawing those parallels, and it's like, I can definitely see the parallels, and I can definitely see the point that you're making, that maybe this is somebody decided to try to mimic this and try to take some of the badness out, but it wasn't working. It was like, this is a direct, looks like a direct correlation. But I think that sometimes people go to the point of trying to pull out, literally trying to find the negative of everything, trying to find some way to downgrade everything.
Exactly.
You know, so
just trying to be offended.
To create this fake outrage, right? To create this fake outrage.
It's like, and it's like that. It's at this point, like you look at it like this. It's gonna be a sense of censorship. And what did somebody say? I was watching this court show called Bull. Watch it. It's on CBS.
Yep, I know that.
And the guy the guy had to defend a client that he basically, that person was like the worst client to have. Like their whole persona, even though they probably weren't guilty, they most likely wasn't guilty. Their whole vibe was like, you're gonna be found guilty because people don't like you. And the guy was asking his boss, how do I represent this person? And I don't even like this person. He said, we have to represent the people we don't like, because even with the I forget what his exact terms was. Basically, we have to defend him, because if we don't defend people when they're doing something, like, it's one thing to say you can't speak out or about social injustice, and this person is speaking about something similar, but you're telling this, like, you, because you don't agree with that person, you don't want to help that person, so you pick and choose who you help. And it's like, if you don't help the person that you don't like, even though they're giving the same message and ideal that you know, like trying to fight the same way in a different manner, I'm not saying it right, but you have to kind of help that out, because if you don't, you're what happens when a person that you need to speak can't speak? It was something like that.
So basically you have to help everyone so that everyone is covered, basically.
Yeah, because if you don't pick and choose, you can't pick and choose, because they're both on the same length of the same wavelength of what they're accomplishing, free speech. And if you censor them,
helpless.
Yeah, if you censor them, then you're going to allow that person that you don't want to be censored, because it's censorship at its.
So to help you out here.
Yeah, because I can't remember
This goes back to the Trump situation. When people wanted to censor Trump, especially in the social media realm, because of the things he was saying and the way he was doing things, and the argument when it came to when people say, well, that's censorship, because if you start blocking him, then it'll boil over, or it'll there'll be that splashback. That's that splashback, right? Because other people are going to get hurt behind this. And sure enough, when the Capitol riot happened and all those domestic terrorists took over the Capitol, they started censoring and blocking people's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts, right? Not just Trump, who everybody said, oh, well, he's rich. He can create his own platform. He's famous. He can go somewhere else and still get his followers to follow him. The problem was people like my cousin, who, although she was outspoken conservative, she doesn't have millions of dollars or billions of dollars to create a platform. She doesn't have a legal team that can fight on her defense to get her unblocked, or to get her allow her account to be unmuted on social media. She doesn't so and that happened to hundreds of people. I knew people who weren't what they call extremists or conservative, or conservative extremists or anything of that nature, and they were getting blocked because they had made comments that were now triggering all these new algorithms, right?
Yeah.
They were hitting all these new algorithms. People had posts from years ago. I think one of my friends, she had a post from 3 years ago in 2017 or 2018 that caused her account to get banned in January, or in February rather. So it's like you have this issue of like you said,
you censor him,
when you're affecting someone, or you're trying to you want to either prevent someone from getting basically basic rights, right? Basic rights under the rules. There's rules, but then there's basic rights under those rules, right? And it's like, okay, if we all are on the same playing field, but you now want to take this person off the playing field, there's going to be repercussions behind that. Just because that person may be bigger than others or may have some additional prowess, you changing the rules to affect them is going to affect others, and you're going to essentially be knocking others off the play field and not allowing them to have the same platform or opportunities. Just because this other person can create their own opportunities, these other people, they don't have that chance, they don't have that ability. So we have to keep the playing field fair and even for all, because if we don't keep it fair and even for all, there's going to be a problem for the people who can't help themselves. It's going to be a problem for the people who can't defend themselves. So yes, if you have, in the United States, we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, based on facts, not on opinions, based on provable situations, not based on your perspectives. Now, if you convict someone based on perspectives, there has to be a consensus on those perspectives, right? Because you can't be convicted on perspectives, but there has to be a consensus. That's what happened to Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, there was no facts to back up what happened when he drugged, 60, 70, whatever number of women it was. When he allegedly drugged 60 or 70 women or whatever it was. But there was a consensus on what may have happened, and that created enough evidence in order to convict him. So the thing is that you have to allow the playing field to be even for all, because other than that, the blowback behind that could affect the lowest of us, the ones that can't defend themselves, the ones that can't create their own platforms. So we have to be fair and open for all.
Yeah, you have to be mindful and cognizant to do your own research and know what's true and what's not.
And like Clint just said, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, hit the like or the follow button on Facebook, the like button, the subscribe button on YouTube, Twitch. Make sure you become a fan on Twitch. Make sure y'all do all that. Appreciations.
No, what I was gonna say is, in the past, like Kevin Hart been flagged for stuff he said in the past. For most humans, we try to evolve to be better every day or every year. We try to get seasoned and more rounded with each other. For Kevin Hart to get flagged, like you said earlier, about some comments he made in the past, usually around that time we feel a certain type of way, and just because it's right then doesn't mean it's going to be right now. So what he said in the past should not be brought up to the future, because his feelings probably changed by then. So him trying to be canceled by the Oscars or the Golden Globe, whatever it was trying to cancel him, and said that he should apologize for something he said 10 years ago. And it was like a football player, recruit going to the NFL, said something when he was 12. He's like 18 to 20 something years now. Something was brought back up for him to be ostracized for as well. Stuff like that should be brought back up. Like, just go ahead and delete it. Twitter, Facebook, or whatever programs should say that, all right, we're going to delete this. This doesn't concern us now because this was back then when you said it. It should be brought up to your future or your present now to make your future dimmer, because what you did back then. That's what the cancel culture is, its biggest problem is they holding on to the past so much, and they want to bring everything back to light just so they can say, we got that guy canceled because he said something that didn't hurt me and affect my life 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. My thing does it even work? Because, we see a person like Eminem, right? Now, honestly, like you said, I mean, as much as I love Eminem, much as I'm a big fan of Eminem, he has said some things that were very just off the wall, things that we shouldn't have heard as children. When we were listening to some of the stuff he was saying. Well, we weren't children, but when in '99,
what you talking about?
You said, well, I know, right? When some people were children, but the thing is that no matter how many times he's been censored, he's been attacked, he's been blackballed, he still comes back. He's still one of the top selling artists of all time, right? Rap artists of all time, right? And still considered maybe one of the greatest of all time when it comes to rap music. So apparently it's not working. When you talk about Michael Jackson, who has been accused of rape, who's been accused of child molestation, who's been accused of doing, of giving alcohol to minors, still hasn't been canceled, still selling diamond albums, still, one of the most loved musicians of all time.
Posthumously still
by all
making money.
genres of people. So it's apparently not always working. Now, did certain people lose their job when they, called the police on black people while they were barbecuing? Yeah, that probably happened. Did some people go to jail because people decided to start a cancel campaign and got their shows taken off the air? Yes, that happened to Bill Cosby. People will pick and choose what's convenient to them, right? I think that between and not to say, and don't get me wrong, I do want to preface this. I should have prefaced it earlier in the show, but for anybody still listening, I don't think that there's a reason that I don't think that we should not cancel certain people for certain things. I do believe that if you are molesting children, or you are raping women, or you or men, or you are, selling drugs into schools, or you are, in the school zone, if you are jaywalking, across traffic, you should be punished, chastised. You shouldn't be making tons of money off of what you're doing to the people, just because you're famous, that kind of thing, because there's that double standard. The double standard is this: if you're big enough, you're above it, right? You can be above cancellation. Eminem is above cancellation. Michael Jackson is above cancellation. I kind of thought R. Kelly was above cancellation, but I think, it depends on who you ask.
Anything before, anything after the chocolate factory.
I thought Bill Cosby was really above cancellation, but we see that's been met with a lot of resistance, right? But I think the biggest thing is that people who, it's not a level playing field. That's basically what I'm trying to say. It's definitely not a level playing field, because there's people who have lost their jobs, that have lost their, look at Matt, what is his name? Matt Lauer from Channel 4.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Not Channel 4, for NBC. There's who was the other guy? Weinstein, who we thought was also above cancellation.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, his company is definitely finally taking a dive because of all the things that he did. There's certain people who's even their prowess and even their celebrity didn't save them, right? Oh yeah, Smooth, thank you. Say we didn't cancel Eminem when he called his black girlfriend a nigger. So he's above it, right? He's proven time and time again. Eminem has proven time and time again that he is above cancellation. It's not happening. It's never going to happen. Give it up, Gen Z. I'm sorry, you lose.
I didn't know he called his girlfriend a what now? I didn't know that.
Now this and this goes back to Dane's point. This happened when he was like 13, 14 years old, and he made a track about, and you've heard about it, Sonny, believe me, you heard it, you probably forgot, because it was 20, 30 years ago we heard about it. So it's like we heard about it and it had happened 10 years before we heard about it. So it's like this stuff happens and people forget, or people dismiss it, or it's not important enough because it doesn't affect them. I think I think Dane mentioned that earlier. It's like sometimes we don't cancel people because it don't affect us, right? Like men, I think men in general have a very bad or very hard time canceling other men when there's sexual allegations or certain types of abuse involved, because it doesn't affect our demographic. Women take more offense to it, probably because it affects them. They're like, hey, this is something that's against women, right? And there's certain men that will take offense to it, but what I'm saying is that there's going to be times when we just we're going to overlook it, right? Because it doesn't affect us, right? And back to the what's the name, the R. Kelly situation. Some of the biggest supporters that I still see R. Kelly has is still women. Yeah. Some of the biggest supporters that Trump's had were women. No matter how much you do to a certain demographic or a certain portion of our society, some of those people will still support you. They can be your biggest supporters. So I think some people are just above it.
What's the funny thing is about that whole Trump thing? Women still supporting him. Is that remember they make memes about Joe Biden, being weird about around women, smelling their hair, giving kisses on the forehead, saying that he's creepy. But when Trump grabs women by the woohoo, it's that's Trump being a guy. No, they happen to forget about Trump doing that though. There's no memes about that from the same people that post about Joe Biden.
Yeah,
now, I'm watching my face. I'm still watching my Facebook.
It's a weird correlation, but you know what I think it is? It's also visual, right? It's the visualization of it. We only heard Trump talk about grabbing women in the pussy, and
his
we
own
only
wife
heard Trump talk about
don't want to hold his hand,
women, kissing women and stuff. We never got a chance to see it in action. Joe Biden's been caught several times doing it, and so you can't really ignore it, right? But also,
he probably feel awkward. He probably like one of them awkward people that you hug and don't know what to do with themselves. Like I just,
well, no, he's creepy.
But there's video evidence.
Definitely creepy and definitely weird.
But it's video evidence of him hanging out at a party with Joe Epstein. Epstein. Yeah, with Epstein. But all of a sudden, he doesn't know him very well.
Right, exactly.
Like this is like, no, I'm watching my Facebook feed. I know who says what and who posts what. I'm not judging
because I'm old.
Like, yeah, you are. So I'm not judging, but I am watching. I am like I do keep mental notes of what you post and what you don't post, and the hypocrisy is just funny. How they see one thing but don't
make
see
that
the
bigger.
other.
That first image, I want to see that first image.
Oh, it's a little girl.
She's like,
Yeah, he's got a real bad habit of the extra touchiness. And this is during news conferences and stuff like this.
No, come on, Joe, don't do that. Don't be the creepy old man. You know what's funny? I just cussed some old guy out in the liquor store the other day because I was in the liquor store. He was all close behind me. He was counting his money or whatever. And he was so close, like if I had moved my elbow, I probably would have elbowed this man. That's how close he was. Like I went to go reach to get my man in my back pocket, I almost elbowed him. Like and I when he first walked up on me, I looked at him like, yo. And then he did it again. He kept standing there. So I said, so you don't believe in personal space? He like, huh? I said, you don't want to move? He's like, no, I'm an older man. That's just how I am. And I said, can you get the fuck away from me though? Right. I don't care how you are. Get out of my space. You violating. I feel like I can breathe. If I can feel your breath on my neck, you too goddamn close. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. And the guy in the store was like, because I went off. I was like, because I looked at him like, bitch, back up. And then you don't want to back up. I looked you in the eye, sir. And you still ain't move. Let me tell you to move.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just think that a lot of times it's perceptions, right? It's perception.
So now everything he do gonna look creepy to me.
Believe me, I haven't been able to look at him the same since when they started posting all these different situations of him being creepy and weird. This is the one that kind of took the cake for me. I'm like, what is really going on? I definitely don't understand. There's another one with another little girl where he's doing something creepy to another little girl. And
was he massaging her temple? Like, what was he doing?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Is his hand right there on that lady?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh no, Joe, no.
Joe's been in some situations.
Uncle Joe, don't do that.
Yeah, so but like I said, I think that's the biggest thing is that it's about perceptions, right? We only heard Trump saying the things that he did versus we saw that, right? And so I think a lot of people, they jump on that and they jump on what they can see. We heard about Eminem and Justin Bieber calling their black girlfriends or black women that or black little girls around them when they were little kids, calling them the N-word. But we haven't heard them put that on a track, or we haven't seen them do that as an adult. So we kind of disassociate, right?
Try that shit now. I'm like the girl. If I want to say the N-word, I'm gonna say the N-word. Everybody was like, say it. Say it. I dare you, say it. Say it in front of some black folks. See how that work out for you.
Right. So Smooth Ass, he says, remember the show we did asking, is this generation more enlightened than previous generations. Do we think that ties into this? And I think part of it does. I think it's a race to be more enlightened, right? This is what that's creating as well. I think that this generation wants to be more enlightened than the last. They want to be more in tune, in touch with their feelings, with other people's feelings, other people's perceptions, as well as supporting others more than we were supported in previous generations. The thing is that we went through what we now call tough love, right? We were beaten with belts, beaten with stitching cords, with shoes, with spatulas. We were cursed out by parents. We were like Joy.
Yeah, I said that. Somebody posted that on TikTok. Like, oh, what's the weirdest thing you ever got outside of beating? Was y'all had a choice?
Yeah,
we didn't have no choice.
Joy mentioned in on her page today about parents that want to blindly control their children. She called them narcissist parents. And the thing was, as I was reading what she posted, I'm like, well, that's basically what we went through as kids. You know, our parents told us to be, our kids told us to be seen but not be heard. Our parents told us to do what they say, not what they do. Our parents told us to do what you were told, or you're gonna get your ass beat, right? So we had parents that were doing things that nowadays is looked at as abuse. Nowadays is looked at as being a bad parent, right? So people are in this race to feel more inclined to be what they call more enlightened or more in touch, right? Some of it's good, you know, because I, as a parent, have tried my best to create a better atmosphere for my kids than I felt that some of us had as kids growing up. I try to keep in mind how I'm talking to my children, how I'm nurturing them, where our parents didn't know about nurturing. I
might be a narcissist.
And then we also, we're all on this big turn of events of, in our society, recognizing sexual abuse, recognizing mental health issues, recognizing times when we need to help others out of domestic violence situations, being cognizant of the fact that some people have less than us. We talked about people being tone deaf, right? Because there's certain celebrities that will post things, irregardless of the fact that there's people. I'm sorry, regardless of the fact that people.
I love that term, irregardless,
and that their ability to be rich or to be, in a certain situation trumps out what other people can go through, right? And like we're having a hard time during COVID, and you got certain influencers posting that they're on yachts and that they're buying Maseratis and they're buying and so people are like, well, you shouldn't do that because other people are suffering right now, and be cognizant of the fact that people are going through a hard time right now. Don't post your lavish lifestyle while other people are suffering. And I think this
might be a narcissist parent too.
All about. Go ahead, Sonny.
I was agreeing with Keela and I think I might be a narcissist parent too. Like, it's just like when my son is a little different because he has to understand certain things. But with my daughter, it's just certain things we not about to do. Like, yes, she got spoiled to an extent. She didn't have to do a lot of stuff that I did, but it's just certain boundaries we ain't gonna cross. And we had our back and forth. Like, I let her express herself, but I let her know that I'm the parent. So at the end of the day, until you grown up to get the fuck up out of here, you have a limited amount to say, because at the end of the day, this was not gonna happen in my house.
Well, Sonny, you're a narcissistic friend too, so I don't see a problem with the way you raise your kid. So I love you, Sonny.
Whatever. I'm not a narcissist. I love my children. My children are spoiled, and that's the crazy. That's what my mom did too. We were raised to do as I say, not as I do, all that stuff, but we were spoiled in our own little way. We had conflicts with our mom and our stepdad, but in the same token, we were spoiled to an extent, if that makes sense. So we were used to like we never had our lights out. We never had to want for anything. Like, we may have not had the best of money, but we never went without stuff. And we didn't really know.
I went through that too, where it was hard. It was a hard life, but it wasn't impossible to survive because our parents did the best they could.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? I love you. Here's a toy. Now get in that room so I can beat you. No, Man, and we got food on the table, clothes on our back. We had make sure we was
Yeah.
entertained. We
I mean,
wasn't without.
I look at it as our parents commanded respect, and a lot of these kids these days don't have that. And that's why we have our kids acting like they done lost their goddamn mind because they don't have, like, call them narcissists or whatever you want to call them. And I understand it, but this is why we got these kids doing what they're doing. Like, and like even like with my daughter, I look at it like this: it's I spoil her to an extent, and even still, like some of the ways she is, I don't like it. But I know why she's like that because she didn't like she if she inherited, like, she got the job aspect, the responsibility, stuff like that from me. So if she's going to go out on her own like she is now, it's like I know I need to maintain. She got 2 jobs, looking for her first apartment. She bought her own car with her own money. And it's no payments on it. She's paying her own car insurance. So yeah, she got her mouth, but she got some of her shit together.
Right.
And so like it's some things that I allowed her to do. I allowed her to. It's a lot of behaviors that I didn't correct.
True that.
In certain standards, in certain points of her life. So now we got the back and forth, this and the third. But I think a lot of these kids lack what our old parents gave us because we didn't, our parents ain't play that, our grandparents ain't play that, and you just knew what was not going, like, the thought of talking back means that you was gonna pick yourself up off the floor and it wasn't gonna fly. Whereas now these kids got these laws protecting them, and they can go in school and say XYZ, and all of a sudden you locked up and thrown in jail because you didn't discipline your kid. Meanwhile, you got crazy kids out here shooting up schools and doing unproductive shit, but you trying to make sure your kid don't be one of them kids and you getting locked up.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, like Keela said, we definitely had awesome childhoods, whoopings and all. Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
There are a lot of parents that are trash. But we gotta wrap it. I want my laptop to die while we're doing this.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Make sure y'all catch us every Monday night, 10 p.m. On Twitch, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Catch our other shows on the GFT network. We have the Styles Radio Takeover on Thursdays. Or every other Thursday. We have, on the opposite of every other Thursday, we have the Fans Perspective with Dame and Smooth. Every couple of Saturdays, we're going to have Sex with Sunny. Well, we're not going to actually have sex with Sunny, but the show is called Sex with Sunny.
So you're not having shit. So don't, because that sounded like we're not having sex with me. There's no sex being had. Right. There's a conversation about sex with me.
False advertisement.
So now I thought about that. Maybe somebody think that. Oh,
shit. You can't catch our many different shows. Oh, and also make sure you check out the gaming with GFT, which will include games with myself. We're also going to get Dame in on it as well. So make sure y'all check that out very soon. It's already going on because I do a game every week. So make sure y'all check that out. And
I will join our Facebook group. Join the conversation. We post about it in there, but it's Saturday the 27th at 2 p.m. I'll post it up on our Facebook page and our thing. Now I feel bad about the name. My sister Jazz laughing at me. It's at 2 p.m. So pull up a drink and just have that conversation. On the 27th, the conversation gonna be dope as hell. So you gotta join us.
Yeah, no doubt. So make sure y'all check that out. Yes, next time on GFT is always going to be a good show. So if you missed the show,
he said, "Who having sex with Sunny?" Stop saying that.
If you missed the show, make sure you check out On Demand 24/7. We have shows on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. Video replays will be on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure y'all get our merchandise. Hit the Shop Now button over on the website on gftradioshow.com or go directly over there to teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio.
What? I can't.
What's wrong?
Yo, get out these comments. Get out these comments.
No, it's the other one too.
Go there. This
you started the OnlyFans, so we didn't know about it. Yeah, check all our links. All our links in our bio for show. For sure. So what I want to say, gftradioshow.com. You can get all of our links, all of our websites, all of our merchandise is over there. Our videos, our podcasts, the actual audio files are all on the gftradioshow.com site. It's our one-stop shop for everything GFT network. So we definitely we got to get that. We got to get that, done. We're gonna put the GFT network out there too. So
you know what? Y'all are terrible. I'm not messing with these people. Get out.
Jasper says she got round two.
Wait.
We got you,
So,
Keelan. We got you.
Jazz, does that mean that we got that threesome on the table now?
Oh, bird. Oh my! What are we? Oh,
Go ahead and do your promo, Sonny.
oh my God! Y'all fire anyway. It's your girl Sunny. I am Sunny_D. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and tickety talk. I'm almost at 1,000.
What's the D stand for?
What?
What's the D stand for?
Delight.
Oh.
Or go to my website, unreservedlyme.com. Don't listen to these fools. They crazy and wildin'. Clinton, shut up.
You can catch me on Twitch at Shinlow21. You catch me at Another Level Up on Instagram and D-Lo on Twitter.
Yeah, somebody call HR.
Shinlow, and Agent Shinlow on Xbox and PSN Network. Holla.
Make sure y'all get that Smooth on at Eat Trent Grew Me on Twitter. Visit him over at the King's Truth on Snapchat, or visit his website. Make sure y'all get to Smooth's website over at kingstruth.com. Always dropping new content over there. He's probably one of the most active of all of us in terms of our websites. So make sure y'all get over on his website at kingstruth.com and check out his latest postings for quotes, poetry, articles. Everything you need is over there at kingstruth.com. Check them out. And as always, it's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me at Willie Styles everywhere. IG, Twitter, TikTok. I'm Willie.Styles over on Snapchat. I don't post, but I will follow you. Visit me over at stylesradio.com. I'm always posting all my hot tracks that I'm listening to. Definitely check out Georgia Smith. She's got a new hot track. I just posted it to my website, so make sure y'all go listen to that. And then get at me at williestyles.info for all my links.
SunnySextapes.com. Oh, y'all is over here lit in this comment. I can't with y'all.
Yes, somebody definitely call HR.
Yeah, call HR. I feel we're gonna have a sexual harassment therapy session.
Right. But thank you for joining, everybody. We just had another great show. And for this show, for the Monday show, we'll see y'all in 7 days.
7. Sunny.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D, 1/3 of the podcast GFT Radio Show.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles from the GFT Radio Show. Just letting you know you can catch us every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And to get some merch, I got some on right now. Go to teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio.
Grown Folk Talk Radio. Join the conversation. Let's have some fun. Holla.